friends, in today's video I'm going to share with you my top 5 tips for surviving the first trimester. If you haven't seen one of my videos before, my name is Anna. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope that you enjoyed today's video, and if you do, don't forget before you leave to click on that little thumbs up button down below. It helps out my channel so much. Tip number 1 is do your research, do a lot of reading, and constantly remind yourself of how much work your body is doing to create this little baby. In the first trimester, as I mentioned in my last video, my first trimester update video, which if you are interested to see it, I will make sure to leave it linked down below and up here. But I mentioned in that video, in the first trimester, you're not showing yet, you're not feeling kicks yet, or a lot of women aren't. And so even though there's not like a whole lot happening on the outside, or because there's not a lot of happening physically on the outside, it's easy to forget how much your body is doing. So doing a lot of reading about all the crazy hormonal changes that your body is going through, all the things that your baby is developing, and all of that is a really good reminder and a really great way to remind yourself constantly of what your body's having to do and why you're feeling the way that you're feeling, why you might be really nauseous or completely exhausted, or why things may be hurting or changing physically in your body. It really helps give your mind a little bit of understanding as to why you're feeling that way, and it helps you give yourself a little bit of grace so that you know that it's normal and you know that it's going to pass. Tip number 2 is make sure that you are resting as much as you need to. Take naps if you can, or if you want to, make sure that you're getting plenty of sleep at night, and make sure that you're also giving your body like physical rest. If you are feeling exhausted and you just can't sleep for whatever reason, at least like sit down, lay down for a second, make sure that you're giving your body the rest that it needs. I know that, you might have older kids you're taking care of, or you have work or whatever it is, but try to make your body and your rest a priority, because it is very important during those first 13 weeks of your pregnancy. Tip number 3 is kind of a lot of tips all mixed into one, but it all has to do with making sure that you are taking care of your body physically, making sure that you are staying hydrated, that you take your prenatal vitamins, making sure that you're eating healthy meals. If you are experiencing morning sickness or any nausea, why can't I ever say that word? If you are experiencing morning sickness, make sure that you're eating small, frequent meals. Make sure that you're not ever overeating or not eating or under eating. When your stomach is empty, that's when you're going to feel the worst. When your stomach is too full, that's when you're going to feel the worst. So you want to make sure that you keep something in your stomach kind of at all times, without getting too full, making sure that you don't get hungry. That's going to be one way that you can fight that feeling. It helps so much. Another great tip that I can add to this is eating bland foods, something that's not going to have a really big smell or a lot of spices, a lot of flavors. All of that triggers that nauseous feeling and your sense of smell and all of that comes along with the first trimester. So things like rice, chicken with maybe just like salt, breads, potatoes, just bland foods like that. That's going to be something that's really easy for you to stomach, things that are not going to have a lot of smell. And then I don't know if this helps every pregnant woman, but it's helped me with all of my pregnancies, and that is eating spicy food. If you're having heartburn, scratch that, don't eat spicy food because that'll make it worse. But if you're not having heartburn, eating spicy foods can help with that feeling in your stomach, with the gas as well. And sometimes it can help just like mask flavors of things too. So it'll make it easier for you to eat things that maybe just aren't tasting that great for you at the time. But yeah, this tip basically just involves making sure that you're taking care of your body physically. It is so important because you're taking care of another little human as well that is basically taking all of that from you. So stay as healthy as you possibly can. Before we continue on to tip number 4, I want to know in the comments down below, if you are pregnant or have been pregnant in the past, what is your number 1 tip or the best advice that you can share with other mamas out there? Let's help each other out in the comments down there. What is your number 1 tip for surviving the first trimester? Tip number 4 is get comfy. Get comfy clothes, wear leggings, start wearing maternity clothes as early as you want. I know that I mentioned before that you're not really showing in the first trimester, but some of us, if it's your second, third, plus kid, you might start showing right away like I did. But even if you're not really like showing, you are growing some and your body is changing and you might be feeling, random body pains and all of that. Getting into like really nice comfy clothes is going to help so much during that first trimester. Nothing that is constricting your stomach, nothing that is tight, nothing that's making you feel constricted, is that a word? Anyways, you know what I'm trying to say. Get into your maternity clothes as early as you can. I know with this pregnancy, I got into my maternity clothes at like 8 weeks along. Not because I couldn't really fit into my other clothes, because I kind of could, but it just was not comfortable. And let me tell you, I do not regret a second of it. Getting into maternity clothes really early has been so comfy and has helped so much, especially because, as I mentioned before, this pregnancy has been very hard on me, and I couldn't have survived it without some really comfy clothes that I used to lay around my house everywhere. And last but certainly not least is tip number 5, and that is using mindfulness, meditation, the art of gratefulness, making sure that you are practicing those things every day, remembering that you are thankful for this little human that is growing inside of you, that maybe some of these awful symptoms are actually a good sign that baby is growing and that things are going well. Remembering that this is going to pass, remembering that you are just living this moment, that yes, it might be hard, but it's also so incredibly cool that your body is doing so much and creating a human being. If you just sit down, 5-10 minutes a day, or as much as you can, as much as you want to really, but just making sure that every day you take the time to be mindful about what you're going through, to be thankful about what you're going through. And even if your meditation just entails being like, this too is going to pass, this too is going to pass. And even if you're just having a really rough time and you can't bring yourself to be thankful at the moment because everything is just that hard, just remember it's going to pass, it's going to get better, and you're going to have a beautiful baby in your arms very soon, and that is something to be very excited and thankful about. So those are my tips for surviving the first trimester. I hope that you enjoyed. As I mentioned before, if you did, click that thumbs up button, helps me out so much. Don't forget to tell me in the comments down below if you like this video, and also share your tips for surviving the first trimester. Don't forget also to subscribe before you leave, and we will see you on the next one. Bye.